very hearty welcome to all of you here for our discussion, the workshop, exchange of ideas today morning. Apprenticeship is a big focus for the government, as you are aware. Government of India has recently almost doubled the stipend in various categories, and that itself shows the focus. But I would say that this is actually a scheme which is a win-win situation for everybody. From government's perspective, I would say, it provides an opportunity to train people in skills without incurring a cost on infrastructure. There are so many sector skills, there are so many fields, innumerable type of skills required in the society in view of urbanization, that government cannot set up all those institutes for giving practical training. So as a result, this scheme was thought of by Government of India. I would say very good thought, very sharp, very intelligent thought to start the focus on apprentice. Government set up ITIs about say 15-20 years back. The whole idea came out, but then last 5 years the focus on skills has really taken a huge quantum jump at the national level. Government realizes very well that as development happens, employment opportunities shift from primary sectors to secondary sectors, such as manufacturing. Manpower will shift from agriculture, from land-based activities into manufacturing. And in the next stage of development, it moves from secondary sector to tertiary sector, such as service sector, which is the focus for today's workshop. In very underdeveloped economies, like many in Africa, for example, or some in our neighborhood, some of the SAARC countries, maybe in India, few years back, and even today in some of the underdeveloped or lesser developed states, it was the government which was the principal employer. Because there was no other opportunity. There was no opportunity for businesses, self-employment, all these things. And when the British rule ended, India had been impoverished to such an extent that we only had 4 to 5 big industrial houses, giants. We would say Birlas, Tatas, all these people were there. And other than that, there was a complete absence of entrepreneurship in the country. Because of consistent policies by our colonial masters, all the capital had flown out of this country into the mills and factories of Manchester and London. And when the Second World War ended, they had to vacate India. India was very, left completely without much industry here. So at that juncture, government became the principal employer by starting a big push on public sector enterprises. All major projects came up, all the dam projects came up, big public sector undertakings, which are today Navratnas or big giants, they came up for economic development and also partly for giving employment to people. But when over a period of time during late 90s, government realized that the communist or socialist model, as to say, of government being the leader in everything is not going to be sustainable with such a huge population. So in late 90s, early 2000, in this millennia, government started liberalizing very fast. As all of us know, many sectors were opened up suddenly, and private entrepreneurs came in to fill the gaps. Because the private entrepreneur is very smart. he can smell profits. You have to only, as they say, open the bottle of perfume and people will smell it. So when this was opened up, the opportunities were smelled by the entrepreneurs all over the country. And being a very entrepreneurial country, there's a lot of capital which was lying here and there, which was hoarded, which was stored. The banking money, everything flown into various sectors which were licensed earlier. So slowly over a period of the last 20 years, we would say that the private sector became a major employer. I remember I was in the port sector that time when liberalization started. From 97 to 2001, I was heading Kandla Port Trust. And there was a waiting of, when I joined in 97, there was a waiting of 31 days for a ship to berth. And every ship was paying huge demurrage charges. There was a huge outflow of forex because of the constraints of capacity. And then Mundra port came up. When it started with one or two jetties, we were all very skeptical. How can such a huge infrastructural project where one jetty that time would cost hundreds of crores? How would a private entrepreneur come and make it a success and challenge a giant like Kandla? But we have seen it happen in front of our eyes, and that has happened in many other fields. So as time passed, private manufacturing sector and private infrastructural sector overtook government as an employer. But these sectors are very demanding because it is profit driven. So these sectors you cannot be very, very compliant, very, very, satisfied with the kind of manpower which you have. These sectors are also open to competition. So if a particular company is unable to deliver, the other company will take it forward. Same thing happened when Open Skies policy airline started. I remember as a student going to, I remember in my school we had gone to Srinagar on a college trip, in our school trip. And the return flight of Indian Airlines, the pilot decided at the last moment to disembark about 20 passengers because he felt that, this is too heavy. And the next flight was 3 days away. And we had to find some link to the pilot. And then he decided, okay, this fellow can come in because he's, somebody known to me. People were doing that kind of a thing. So it was an economy of scarcity controlled by the public sector. Telephone is a big revolution. We have seen what has happened in the telephony sector. And when we joined our service way back, 86, in academy in Missouri, we would go all the way to make friends with the telephone exchange fellow as probationers because he could connect us faster to our hometowns. So I remember a lot of probationers, a lot of our batchmates would go in the evening and, have a cup of tea with that lineman because then because we could not afford an emergency call, or as they would say, lightning call, which was 16 times more expensive. So we would book, because we were having a very bigger salary stipend that time as professionals. So we would book an ordinary call from that telephone booth, single telephone booth. And if I knew the lineman, he would connect me faster on a normal rate. So these were the kind of discretions in the economy. So from that era, today we have almost like a free calling telephone service, and customer is the king. Despite such an increase in population, the private sector has been able to cope up with the challenges and come to that level. So when we talk in terms of supremacy of private sector in manufacturing and then service sector, which is the focus of today's discussion, we need to be able to provide manpower as government and as society, which is very, very relevant to their needs. And that need will continue to change all the time. So today probably the IT engineers who passed out in 2000 may not be that relevant if they have not kept this pace with the kind of IT requirement of today. Same thing in all sectors, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is technology, call center, whether it is a BPO. So every field, the technology levels are changing, the requirements are changing, and government's effort in that direction is there, but it is not enough because no government can have that kind of resource or flexibility to respond to those challenges. So government also started setting up institutions such as NSDC, which was set up to provide a kind of a platform which is little out of the government and at the same time funded by the government primarily, but not bogged down by the restrictions of governance. In states, government set up organizations such as GSDM. Then the sector skill council was set up for exchange of knowledge, etc. And in that direction, the apprentice scheme came up. The apprentice scheme is basically to provide an outreach of continued education in skill development to our youth at the cost of industry. And that cost is compensated by the government by way of stipend to some extent, not to full extent, but to some extent. For industry, particularly in service sector, I know I was in tourism earlier and I have known the hotel industry closely. And any good hotel you go to, most of the people, youngsters there are trainees from Institute of Hotel Management, from IHMs. They are all trainees. They get very, very low stipend and just a place to stay and free food, and they are very happy and motivated. You go to Taj, you go to Marriott, any of those hotels, most of the employees are trainees. So, hotel industry is one of the pioneers in the field of apprentice scheme, and it is a great advantage for industry because it also provides an opportunity for industry to gauge a person's capability. If you hire 10 apprentices, you know which 3 of them you are going to select because it is not a one-time job interview. You see them in their work progress every day. You have time with you. You can retain them or check them out. And you have time to interview them, to assess their work. And the best people will be retained by the industry. Those who are not that good have to go out, maybe go to a lesser industry, or to have to reskill themselves, or reorient themselves, or get self-employment. So apprenticeship scheme is actually one of the best schemes, and still I don't think industry and even in government we have realized the potential of this. A country like Germany, for example, I am told about more than 1/3 or so of the people who pass out go into apprentice schemes. It is huge in Europe. Scaling is a huge thing because there is no differentiation between a white collar job and a blue collar job. And there is no stigma against the dignity of labor, which we have unfortunately in India. I remember about 2 years back I had gone to Harvard University as part of a government training program. And some of us were taken, a group of IS officers from various states were getting a training program there in Harvard, and we were taken to the Massachusetts School of Medical Studies, and there was a floor on heart surgery, the latest techniques. And there were people who were actually sitting and carrying out virtual surgeries on 3D images, which were virtually in the air. Complicated heart surgeries, and wherever they would go wrong, there will be a bling there, a beep there, and the marks will be detected. A virtual surgery workshop which I saw there. And they are called medical technicians. I was very surprised. I said, are they not surgeons? So the person who was taking us around, he said, surgeons are technicians. Which just dawned upon me that this is great. That is the way they think in America, in Harvard, in Boston. And that is the kind of respect they assign to a technician. While in India we still teach our medical students big thick books, which these days the youngsters don't really read. The methodology for education abroad is fast changing. It is more based on videos, on animation, and on virtual images. So people actually practice surgery, they don't read about it in theory. So in theory, you would not really know too much about various technical names beyond a point, and all those things you would know, but you will not really focus on it. But he'll be an excellent surgeon. Some of us would have known the best surgeons in Ahmedabad. I know some of them, and I get a chance to discuss with them. They are best because they perform the best, not because they know the best. So the difference between knowledge and skill is huge. Based on knowledge, you get a job from where you can retire. Based on skill, you get work which stays with you till the skill stays with you. So those who have a skill can continue to work much later, beyond the age of 58 or 60. They can continue to work beyond their office hours. They can continue to work on their own or with somebody. They can shift jobs. So they are very, very employable. They are very, very flexible because labor is also a commodity. And the way the labor moves from place A to place B, job A to job B, job A to self-employment, self-employment A to self-employment B, depends on the capability and flexibility of this particular person, how much skill he has acquired. So in today's era, even in fields like medical sciences, where we feel that it is all bookish knowledge, today skill is much more important than the knowledge which they have acquired in the initial years of medical education. So we are all sitting here discussing how this skill can be honed up further, how it can be matched to the needs of the industry, how can we move a person seamlessly from IIT onto industry and back to IIT. How can industry come and teach our people in IIT so that they are teaching their future entrants at our cost? So just as we cannot set up factories, just as we cannot set up call centers, we cannot set up hotels as government, the hotels or the factories cannot set up ITIs or IITs or polytechnics. So it is a partnership. We teach theory, you teach skill and take them. We prepare them for you. As government, we want them to be employed or self-employed because that is government's desire that the youth is fully employed. And as industry, you get the best people because government trains them at a very, very low cost and no cost to you, and you get good people. You get a chance to keep them with you and then select the best person out of all those people. So as a result of this, I believe apprenticeship in Gujarat is doing very well. We are first in the country. As you know, we are far ahead of all other states. And that is natural only. I mean, it's great to be proud of, but still, it is not something to be complacent about. It is not something to be surprised at because we have the largest industry in our country. But in service sector, somehow, we are still lagging behind in terms of where we should be reaching. Gujarat, as you know, probably is the most urbanized state in the country today. Almost 50% of our population lives in urban areas, more than 50%. Only state in the country which has more than 50% people living in the cities. And the rate of migration is so fast that in next 10 years this will cross 60%. So the cities are becoming bigger and bigger. Villages are getting empty, people are moving off the land, people are selling their lands to industry because a lot of industry is coming there. So if you have a piece of land in Sanand and you sold it to Maruti, where do you go? Where does your son go? He may have money but he may not have skills. So you have to bring him into skilling, you have to bring him into an urban area. So urbanization, globalization and skilling have to go together to meet the needs of our future society, particularly in a state like Gujarat. In that direction, we are doing well, but we need to really go much faster. I would say if you talk in terms of plan of action, which I have thought about in a way, we have to move faster, but we have to popularize the apprentice scheme because industry still does not see it the way they should perceive it. They do not still see it as something which is beneficial to them. The youngsters, they want to have an immediate permanent job. They don't want to go into apprenticeship because that is what they feel that if the permanent job is there, it is always better. So unless we bring it together, if the youngster is also made to see that, if you join as an apprentice, you also have a chance of seeing your industry, whether that particular factory gives you the environment to actualize your full potential. If not, then you can probably shift. So for everybody, it is like engagement and long courtship before marriage, something like that. If you instantly marry, you have a chance of divorce. But if you have good courtship, then it sustains longer. So apprenticeship is the courtship period where we have to really take it forward, but we have to make it more popular. We have to give free choice and proper skills to the youth, proper motivation to the industry. So far as Government of India is concerned, I would urge them that their portal needs to be further improved. There are a lot of issues in the portal, we keep telling them all the time, and they're responding also, but I think for progressive states like Gujarat, they need to really respond much faster. So once the stipend issue or the reimbursement of stipend becomes faster, which is a major issue with many of you, I am aware of that, and we keep on your behalf telling Government of India, the contracting process itself, probably we can make it simpler in some way, and people who join, they can join, just walk in, and the contract can be signed same day, it can be a simpler contract. And the moment he finishes his first month, his reimbursement comes automatically to the factory, to the employee, or to the industry, or to the service sector owner or employer, and it comes on automatic mode. So if this happens, I'm sure a large number of people will take apprentices in large numbers, try them out, keep some of them, rest of them get trained, they get benefit in any case, even if they don't get a job. If you have worked for a couple of months in an industry or in service sector, you learn, so you become more employable, then you move on to another industry, and you get to know whether that particular job is to your liking or not. If you want yourself to be re-skilled, at that age you can get yourself re-skilled. So there's a lot of flexibility. And one last point I would like to, which I am also kind of all the time advocating within government, with our education department, is that there are about 5 to 6 lakh dropouts in our school system from between the class 10 and class 12 and first year of college, I would say. So these 5 to 6 lakh kids, out of them only 1 lakh get into ITIs, 1.5 lakh get into ITIs. Others go to private skilling institutes, or they become unemployed, or they become unskilled workers, or they do nothing. So we want to really absorb these 5 lakh dropouts, and we should first stop calling them dropouts. We should give a choice to a kid in 8th standard. Because today an IIT pass out probably earns more than a civil engineer pass out. That is the kind of, good IIT pass out would probably make more money than a civil engineer passing out of a college. So this concept that only dropouts go into IITs, or only those who are not able to educate themselves get into skilling, this whole mindset has to change. And for changing this mindset, we need a very huge campaign in the country, a campaign of the level of probably Swachhta Abhiyan, something like that, in which Government of India also should rethink to give more money to states, in what way the states can promote skilled jobs as equal to jobs which are based on education alone. Everybody need not do his graduation. You ask any youngster, either he's doing a BCom, or he's doing a BSc, or he's doing a BA. But why is he doing that? He doesn't know. Because he needs to be a graduate, because degree is very important. Why is degree important? They don't know. Only a fraction of them will get jobs based on that degree. And a fraction of them will utilize that education in their functioning in the job later on. So after the 12th maybe, or after the 10th, when the basics are taught to the kids, basics of mathematics, basics of history, basics of Mughal history or whatever relevant subjects we keep teaching in schools. So once you give them a basic of all understanding, we have to give them a choice. Do you want to become a professor? Okay, do your BA honors, MA, PhD and become a professor, but it should be clear right away. If you don't want to become a professor or appear for a civil service exam or a government job, you don't need graduation. If you want to become a medical doctor, then get into that area. But if you don't like education or studying, there was a very fantastic film, two films which I would like to mention. One is called Tare Zameen Pe. You must have seen it. There's a kid who is not able to study. There are people who can't study. Everybody doesn't have that capacity to study. But without studying, if he becomes an excellent filmmaker or musician, or he can become an excellent carpenter and maybe earn more money or save amount of money, or an excellent photographer, which is where the second movie is. What you would have seen, all of you would have seen, is Three Idiots, in which he says that it is better to become an excellent photographer instead of becoming a useless engineer. But people don't have a choice. In Europe, they have a choice. They can give up education without any stigma, join a skilling program, do that, get a job or get self-employed without society telling them what they have done. So we have to run a campaign in society in general to a very vast extent that blue-collar job or white-collar job or self-employment, which is based on skilling, are equally good. What is important is that person or the youngster has to be given a platform to be able to chase his own dreams. And that is why all of us are here to make that happen. I wish all the best to all of you, and I hope the workshop goes very well. Thank you, all the best.